What's going on, fellow pro wrestling fans? WrestleQuest back in this thing, man. And you guys remember back in the day, Bruce Pritchard talks about it, the Montreal Screwjob, Davey Boy Smith. R.I.P. to him, man. Phenomenal wrestler. Always one of my favorites. He had such a lengthy, great career. R.I.P. to him. R.I.P. to Davey. I got cut off there for a second, guys. Stay with me, though. Hit the buttons. Rock with me. This is crazy. We got to get all into it. But before we do, leave in the comments some of your favorite matches from British Bulldog, Davey Boy's career. And what did you guys think about his son, D.H. Smith, David Hart Smith? Wasn't that his name? The tag team. Remember Tyson Kidd, his early injury, just the next generation of the Hart legacy or the Hart family, you know, and the dungeon and all that good stuff, man. But this blew my mind when I seen this. You see the initial picture and you see the second picture. This is the late, great Davey Boy's wife, widow. And, you know, she is the sister of Bret the Hitman Hart, and she's just going in here. I don't know if you guys saw this. Like, I'm like, where did this all come from? And you see in the second picture, she's got Bret crossed out. And I'm like, damn, man, I hate to see the rift within the family. It's like they went through so much. Davey's not here. Owen Hart passed in a horrific way. Anvil's not here. You know, so much loss and tragedy within the family of outside of just being amazing pro wrestlers that all us pro wrestling fans of, right? They just seem like legit good people. And them, in my mind, I always thought like the Harts stick together. When you're a Hart or they take you in as family, like that really means something, you know? And to me, someone, and I'm sure maybe a lot of people feel this way too, like you got family issues and stuff like that. Like I always admire about people, and to see some dissension within the ranks, if you will, some drama going down is like not good to see, especially too, as I was going to say with Bret, him and his sister beefing. I'm like, yo, Bret, you see him more active as of late, doing interviews again. He looks a lot better and healthier. I remember some years back on a post, some other fellow pro wrestling fans got all in their feelings and mad at me because I was saying, damn, man, Bret aged rough, you know? And like they started, oh, you sack of ish, he had a stroke. All like, yo, my wifey had a stroke. I understand. I wasn't trying to diss him. I love Bret. You know what I mean? I was really like taken aback. Like, damn, time has not been like life hasn't been all so great for Bret. But as of late, you see him back. He's made peace with a lot of the rough things in his life, which all of us on this journey through life, there's tragic things that happen or there's hardships we go through that sometimes it's so hard to get over, and it truly eats you away at you like a cancer. I'm dealing with so many things like that right now myself, and you know, tap in if you feel me on that, if you are going through that kind of stuff as well. But I see him looking good, seeming happier. His wife, some people are coming at him about the age difference. Share your thoughts about that all. But he seems like he has a good relationship going with her. And then here he is getting crossed out on this iconic picture with his sister here. And, you know, his brother-in-law, her husband, it says, this is from Diana Hart Smith, right? Oh, that's what I was going to say. Remember, the Montreal Screwjob, they said, Davey Boy said, he fucked him. They fucked him. And it's almost like she's saying, you know, Bret fucked over the legacy, the memory of Davey Boy from skimming this over. I didn't even fully read this till right now, y'all. And she said, and she's heavily active in the comments as well. I'm only went over a few of them, but she's very active. Like this is wild right here. She says, Bret does not present his statements as opinions. He states them as facts. That distinction matters because many of his claims specifically about Davey's physical or mental state at SummerSlam 92 are simply not true. It is my opinion that Bret's current misrepresentation of events at SummerSlam 92 may be influenced by the stroke he suffered in the summer of '02. So let's pause there for a second. Y'all heard me mention Bret's stroke a little earlier. So wow, that was in '02. Here we are. You guys remember when he came back and made amends with Shawn Michaels and they in Vince, and they had that WrestleMania him versus Vince. I think it was WrestleMania, but they had the him versus Vince like no holds barred match. A lot of people not a fan of that. Tap in and let me know what you guys thought about it. Was that one you think Brett would have been better off just, hey, like, come back, do the thing with Sean and all that, but like, you don't got to get in the ring. You remember they had him win the U.S. title as well, but he couldn't take bumps. Having a stroke can truly change someone in a lot of ways. Like I was telling you, wifey, our baby mama, depending on what day goes, right? What the vibe is each day. And she feels the same damn way about me a lot of the time. She had a stroke and she was very fortunate to recover a lot. But a lot of the mental stuff and just effects it can have on your brain is truly is wild, man. Anyone out there, if you dealt with it yourself or someone within your family, please comment about it. Once again, guys, please subscribe. Help me grow this platform up. But if you're new over here, the main idea is to just talk with you guys, So we're talking about pro wrestling, life experiences, different things branching off from the pro wrestling content and news in which we cover. But that's what we do. We just talk in a podcast-like format. We want to get the numbers up a little bit, start doing live streams, having some fun with this. So rock with me, support me, but more importantly, talk with me. I'm truly intrigued and interested in what you guys have to say. But going back to that match, wasn't it said that Davey Boy and Jim the Anvil, RIP to him as well, supposedly were smoking the hard, pause, not in that way, like crack or something. They were binging up all night or whatever, and Brett had to carry the match or what. And I haven't seen like I said, I know he's been heavily active as of late doing a lot of these interviews. But has he been like talking greasy? Has he been going into deeper, more in depth about the situation and saying some rather unfriendly things about his late great family member or what? Or do you think that she's tripping? Let me know. She says, what cannot be ignored is the timing. The Davey died prior to that. In May 02, there was a full decade, 92 to 02, when Brett could have raised his claims directly with Davey if they were legitimate. He never did, not once. The absurd and hurtful accusations began after Davey was no longer alive to respond. Instead, Brett now frames over and over, despite my appeals to him, with facts, proof/records, and critical reasoning to please restrain and refrain from his slander. But he refuses. Brett now cites this incredible match as great solely because of his own alleged brilliance, assigning himself all credit while diminishing Davey's. So is she bugging? Is she on point with this? Has Brett's stance changed? I don't know necessarily about what Brett was saying, where she was saying like, yo, he never said none of this. She said, yo, he never said none of this ish to Davey's face. Maybe not Brett, but I do feel like a lot of people have for years, we've heard that story circulate that they were up getting high. But is he putting extras on it, or did he not touch on it then and then he is now? Like, I'm so lost in this situation. And, oh, wait, there's more, though. Apologies. I forgot this goes on even more. While diminishing Davey's. Where were we? Apologies. Invaluable role. Brett's narrative is not supported by history, by documentation, or by what audiences can plainly see when they watch the match itself. Without Brett's overlapping, slandering words, Davey's performance shows no evidence of impairment. On the contrary, it reflects Davey's professionalism, strength, and focus despite the fact that he was recovering from a necrotizing fasciitis, a serious and life-threatening flesh-eating infection. We have proof. Davey did not complain, seek sympathy, or disclose his condition to the public. He simply did the work, put in work. She didn't say put in work, I did. It is difficult to reconcile these facts with Brett's retroactive claims, except to note a long-standing pattern of self-aggrandizement, in my opinion, and I'm very clear that this is opinion. Brett's tendency toward ego, bullying, and exaggeration predates both his stroke and the match in question. I base that on my lived experience growing up with him as my older brother and on decades of observed behavior towards family members and colleagues. What I will not accept is history being rewritten after the fact, especially when the person, Davey, being totally discredited is no longer alive to defend himself. So wait, did she say he been bullying him and on some bull-ish, but then earlier say, or do I have that wrong? Again, let's talk about this, guys. But before say, yeah, he didn't start this ish until Brett was deceased. What is everyone's understanding of this? And I'm curious to know if anyone out there, regardless of what you feel about this, do you think that this was family business that should not have been broadcasted on the net? Or do you think, like, nah, man, Brett's saying this, she has to say what she's got to say, or what? Public, he simply did the work. It's difficult to reconcile these facts with Brett. Oh, wait. Okay, where were I at? I'm sorry, guys. In the match in question, I base that on what I will not accept is history. No, okay, so we did read the whole post there. But like I said, she's here responding to multiple people. I only hit up a couple of these, but I was seeing like, okay, she's very active in the comments. Amen to that. I love Davey so much, and he deserves better. Diana responded and said, we have tolerated his intimidation for too long. He is very famous and has a much broader fan base than I have, and he uses that to shut me down and hurt our family like he did at this recent event. See, I missed what went down at this event, guys. Again, rock with me, get in the comments. Certain things I miss, you know what I mean? So, again, not just that I want to talk with you guys. I'm not some content creator around here trying to act like I know it all, man. Like, we're just shooting the ish on here. I will not let him be the victor who rewrites the history according to his Caesar-like tyrannical point of view. Any wrestler like Austin or Lesnar or Undertaker would have called him out like had they been there to see Brett crucify Davey, contribution or not. This needs, where are we at? Sorry, guys. This needs to stop. Asking Brett privately, repeatedly, either proof of why he's wrong has not stopped him. So, this is why I did the public post. So she's like, apologies for asking you guys that question. Oh, was this family? She's like, I tried the private route and he's not being private. So I had to get messy. Sometimes you got to fight fire with fire, I guess. This gentleman says, Brett has told me the same story for the better part of 30 years and was telling this story before Davey passed. He has always given Davey props in every interview I've ever seen. So this guy's saying, Brett's been saying it, and he's not ishing on him. He's just telling a story that, like I said, I remember hearing a lot of people talk about this. The Warrior, everyone. Remember that Warrior was pissed when they said, the ring being rigged up with the trap door in WCW got Davey Boy hurt and the staph infection in his back and all that. You guys heard about that? But she says Brett never uttered anything about his unfair claims until Davey suddenly passed. Show me anywhere. Prove to me where Brett supposedly said this prior to Davey's passing. Prove it. It doesn't exist. 30 years, as you claim. Well, that amount of that time doesn't really add up. Show me a clip. Show me where Brett says this in a clip from 30 years ago. It doesn't exist. Didn't happen. Then this gentleman says, we can still see Brett carrying that match. Brett wasn't the only one that said he was high at SummerSlam. Shawn, Bruce did as well. Diana says, Shawn and Bruce never said that because it was a lie. I can't see how Brett carried the match. It takes two to tango to make a masterpiece. Definitely a great match, goes down in the books. But I swear, I feel like I've definitely heard this story and heard wrestlers allude to that. I think maybe she's a little off saying that. I don't know. Again, let me know what you guys think. But I'm just throwing this out there too. There can be a scenario where someone says, yo, Davey was high as a kite, but he still held it down with Brett. I don't know. The wrestling business is wild, man. But this really breaks my heart to see. So there you have it. Here we are, guys. 2026, long after Davey Boy's gone, and Brett and his sister just flat out beefing, and she's saying that this is history of this bullish. Jump into the comments. Like, let's talk about all this. You guys remember too back when they had that Diana, the affair with HBK when he was champ. He was the face champ, right? And that Beware a Dog, In Your House, Beware a Dog, Part 1 and 2, all that, right? But then later with the heel turn with DX, he was like, no, I did smash Diana. You guys remember that? That shit's crazy. But there you have it. Some tough news to see as a pro wrestling fan, you know, like families falling apart. Again, especially such an iconic, just family that goes back generations and has done so much for the business, the fans all love. And, you know, like to see it like this on social media and all this is just like, damn, man, this ain't what it is. This ain't what we want to see. So there you have it. Look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments. Stay tuned for updates and other pro wrestling content. Man, I don't know. And she's saying like, I've been trying to get him stopped. Like, this is just so damn messy.